Salve, Skibuli! I hope that you all are doing well and safe at your home. I am reporting from my study. Here are many of my books that I use to do research for our class. One thing that you may recognize or immediately is that Mr. Naylor has shaved his beard, and I've done that for a reason, not just for the COVID outbreak. It has been recommended that gentlemen lose the beard to prevent the spread of COVID uh, spreading even further. But in Roman customs, it was a tradition that men would shave their beards out of a sign of mourning. And in the early hours of Friday morning, my dog, Beefeater, about whom I have spoken a lot, passed away. And I was there with him, and I had a terrible weekend, but I am doing better. And unfortunately, I don't have my Beefeater to keep me company while we are all being quarantined. I do appreciate all of you who have submitted work for last week, the completion of Unit 5. I have tried to make corrections and submit those back to you in a timely fashion. Again, I apologize. I've not been checking my email every day. Well, I have every day, but I've not been responding every day because of dealing with things with the passing of my dog. But I will do a better job in the forthcoming. So, being that our course is going to have a change of direction for at least 6 more weeks, I've decided to change the curriculum and move from my booklets that I have been writing for the class to Wheelock. We will be moving to a book known as Wheelock's Latin, which is, I think, now in the 7th edition. This is the 6th edition, which, if you would like a copy of this book, I can arrange for a copy to be left in the front office for you to pick up and to check out. Just email me that request. But you don't have to do that because, in fact, I have already uploaded all of the exercises that we're going to be doing out of the book on our classroom website. If you go to World Languages, click on Naylor, click, and then there on the assignments, on the left-hand column, you'll see Latin 2 uploads. And because of this whole change of distance learning, I have now made 3 files for my various classes. Latin 2, Honors Latin 3, and IB Latin all have upload file pages, and you'll want to go to that upload file page to resource this. Also, let me show you. Wheelock is also online, so here it is online. I will upload that link to our website as soon as possible. Many textbooks have posted all the material free online because of the extenuating circumstances. However, Wheelock's has always been online for free for quite some time. And let me see if I can zoom all the way over here. What chapter are we in? So that's chapter 19. We're going to start in chapter 17. You go just a little ways back. There's chapter 16, third declension adjectives. There's chapter 17. And let's see if it'll let me click. It won't let me click over that. I got to move myself for me to click it back. So to go back, there we go. In chapter 17, we're learning the relative pronoun, which you already know, or you already learned because that was in our chapter 21. This week, we are continuing to review, if you will. This week is optional, as was last week. The material that you submitted last week, you will receive You will be receiving credit for doing that. It is not a grade like a quiz grade, but it will work towards classwork homework grade. And chapter 17 is also going to be optional. It will not be for a quiz grade. It will be only for a completion grade. So this week, what I suggest is that we all work on chapter 17. Today, I'd like for you to look at the chapter 17 preview that I have typed. Every chapter in the booklet, I have already typed in a preview, which is to assess what do I already know about this grammatical concept in the English language. So for example, in chapter 17, we're learning a lot about pronouns, and what do I already know about pronouns in my English language. So just fill out these. This is all in English. Part 3 is more of a warmer for the relative pronoun. What about who, whose, and whom do I already know in my own language? I'll go ahead and tell you who. The pronoun who is supposed to be used only as the subject and the predicate nominative in the English language. For example, did you see the dog? Oh, that's going to be a which. Did you see the girl who was running in the field? Who is the subject of was running in the field? Or I don't know. Krista is who she is. Who is not really a predicate nominative in that example, but I was trying to pull one up. Now, in your English language, whose should only be used for possession, such as whose backpack is this? Not who backpack. You wouldn't say who backpack anyway. Or anyway, who shows possession. Then whom is for every other use. Whom is the object form of who. It could be the direct object, the indirect object, or the object of a preposition. Let me give you a few examples. Did you see the girl whom the dog was chasing? The girl is not chasing in my sentence. The dog is doing the chasing. So the girl is the object of chasing, whom the dog is chasing. Or did you see the girl about whom they were talking last week? Whom is the object of the preposition about whom they were talking. I know you rarely ever say that. You would more likely say, did you see the girl who they were talking about last week? Another example of the indirect object. That's the man to whom I gave the money. To whom is the indirect object of giving away the money. Money is the direct object in my dependent sentence. And then part 4 is who or which can be singular or plural. So read each sentence carefully and select which who or who would fit there. So what I have quickly learned works well for me as a teacher is if you submit your work through Google Docs. So if you start a continuous Google Doc and then you always make the front page the most recent assignments, and you share it with me so that I can go in and type and explain what's going on. I can explain, okay, this is a partitive genitive, okay, this is the imperfect tense, you didn't see that, or this is a dative of reference, that's why I'm translating it this way. Works out a lot easier than if you write on a piece of paper and then you take a picture of that paper and then you send it to me. It's difficult for me to go from screen to screen trying to explain to you what errors you are making. So you're welcome to upload the workbook 2019 as it is labeled into a Word document and proceed with your work there and simply share it with me. Another explanation. I have titled it Workbook 2019 because I followed this curriculum last year with the previous Latin to students. Now, Wheelock's Latin is going to be very different than our textbook in that there is not a running story like with the Cicero family. It is less connected. So let me scroll through and show you some more examples. Every chapter is going to have a focus vocabulary, which I have painstakingly typed as our focus vocabulary. Always on the first or second day, I'm going to ask you to look up every single one of these meanings, and you can do that in your Wheelock's book. You can use a regular Latin dictionary. I don't have one of those right here, or you can even use apps. There are various apps that will tell you the dictionary forms of words. My favorite is Words by Whitaker, and that is free on the iPhone as well as the Android. I have not told you about that app yet because I really wanted you to use the paper and make you learn the words before relying too heavily on an app. So you want to look up all of the forms of words. So for example, here, acere, the other two genders of acere are acris and acre, which is kind of weird. Acere is the masculine, acris is the feminine form, and acre is the neuter form, and it means bitter. Admitto, the infinitive is ere, short ere, that is, making it third conjugation. Third form is nisi. Fourth form is misus. And I want you to go ahead and start using the fourth form as well. This means simply to admit, to allow. Itos is a noun. Itos, itatis. You know all tos, tatis words are feminine, and that word means age, and so on and so forth. Now, when you get to an adverb like kito, there are no other forms for kito. You're just going to say quickly. Kito means quickly. Then, after you look up all of the vocabulary words for that chapter, I want you to try the verb review. And with each chapter, I review all of the forms of the verb that we know up to that point. So, for example, in chapter 17, we know all of the tenses, the present, the future, the imperfect, perfect, pluperfect, future, future perfect, as well as the imperative and also the infinitive. So I have a review of all of those forms thrown in together. We don't have the present active participle in chapter 17 because it is not yet in the booklet. And then on Thursday, I suggest that you go through the practice and review on chapter 17, which has, it says 17, but I skip a lot of sentences, and sometimes I'll tell you to skip some sentences. And then there's a little grammar thing at the bottom. Here's what relative pronoun is this, and identify the antecedent. And then it ends with a sententiae antiquae, which I really like, because Wheelock uses authentic Latin sentences that exemplify the topic of that chapter. So here are going to be 10 or so Latin quotes from various authors that use the relative pronoun. So please try those, and I say try them, so do your best effort. I will go ahead and warn you, there are numerous websites that have all of the answers already available, and I would strongly discourage you from using those. I expect mistakes. I expect my students to be making mistakes at this point. This is not an easy text, so that's why I want you to try. If you can't get all 10 of them done, do as many as you can. If you get stuck and you give up, that's okay. Stop and submit what you can do, and I will assist you and give you pointers so that you can do more, even more the next time. So please take care of yourself and yours out there, and I will be touching base with you all very shortly. Have a good day.